Welcome back to Cheche. We're live on Citizen TV discussing the prospects for the electoral reforms proposed by the Joint Select Committee, because they're of course up for discussion in Parliament. Today's guests, Senators Kipchumba Murkomen of Elgeyo Marakwet, one of Jubilee's negotiators, and from Court, Boni Halwale of Kakamega, who was negotiating on behalf of the opposition coalition. And so we're just coming out of our discussion on the voters register. Wind that up for us, Senator. You were talking about an example where this had happened successfully. Yes,
I want to specifically appeal to our CORD supporters that we never reinvented the wheel when we were in this committee. The issue of auditing a register, the best experience is in Nigeria at the last election. When they invited auditors, they audited their register of 50 million voters. Through the audit, 10 million people were removed from the register. So 40 million people went to cast their vote. And the success of the exercise was that the opposition not only won, but also the spoiled papers dropped from 10% that had been the case in previous elections with the old unaudited register to only 1%. So it is an exercise that we believe President Uhuru, Raila Odinga, or whoever will represent CORD will march into the election knowing that the playing ground has been leveled.
Why did you drop the international auditors?
It was not dropped. We just said it will be subjected by an audit firm. To merely say
reputable,
to merely say international firm, you could choose Pricewaterhouse. It is an international firm and it can do a stupid job. But we are talking about reputable,
because you know there is this perception that there are two things here. One, I hope that there is no impression being created like any side of the political divide do not want credible elections. We wanted, and we went to these negotiations knowing very well that we don't want anything that will spoil our victory next year, and so we wanted the confidence that when we win next year for the second time running, our friends will not have to even bother themselves to go to court.
Okay, we're running out of time.
And most important is to say that a reputable firm can be a Kenyan firm or can be an un-Kenyan firm. This idea that when something is international is reputable is actually...
And Kenyan is not. Okay, we're running out of time. Very quickly, you also recommend that party members, a list of party members be submitted to the commission at least 90 days before, you know, and these lists be used for primaries. There's a lot you try to do around parties, except for party hopping.
It's there. What we've said is that we need to have recognizable timelines when it comes to nomination for political parties, when it comes to the question of elections and presentation of papers, so that IEBC also can have time to go and print ballot papers without this process of running around the last minute. What's very important in that section is the dealing with party hopping and making our parties as stronger entities and allowing IEBC to carry out nominations for political parties. First of all, in terms of party hopping, because there's people are saying, oh, you know, MPs are going to lock themselves there, they will suffer. You have only 21 days before the day of nomination to determine whether you will enter into the nomination of Fort Kenya or you want to opt out before. Any person who believes that is going to be rigged in his political party or the party where he is, why would you want to subject yourself to a process that you already know that there is no fairness? You must have to, you look at the indicators
but if you believe, if you're in Luo Nyanza,
no, that's
obviously, if you don't get nominated in ODM or court,
exactly. That is what I'm saying.
We have an answer.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Way before that nomination, you look at ODM's nomination rules if you come from that region. Look at the credibility of that process, the way the campaign has been going, whether the process is transparent. If you believe that you are likely to be rigged, you make a decision 21 days before to say, I'm not going to run in ODM, I'm going to look for political party X where I'm going to run. Than to subject yourself to the nomination of ODM and thereafter complain that it was not fair and then you jump. Now, to cure that problem of being rigged out, you know the reason why people are being rigged out is because party leaders sell certificates in this country. You come and you are richer. Yeah, some party leaders sell certificates. You are richer You come and tell the party leader, I'll give you 10 million or 100 million for your campaign. The party leader says, 100 million guy, vis-a-vis the one for nothing, let me give this one. Even if this one is popular with the people, this one for 100 million will sort out my immediate problems of running for presidential election. I'll sort out the people later. Now, therefore, we have said to cure such diseases, parties can be able to give IEBC the responsibility to be able to carry out nomination on their behalf so that they can increase that credibility. And I really feel that this is an innovation that will ensure that we have 2, 3 political parties, 4 at most, that will compete around issues. I believe strongly that if I lose in the nomination of Jubilee, and I've subjected myself to Jubilee nomination, I should be able to now assist the party to succeed so that I play a particular role within that political or the government that's going to be formed by that political party. The thing that we must also get out of is the idea that you have to have zero, you must always win everything that you want in life. You must be able to accept that when you lose in the nomination process and it's fair, you must be able to move forward. So those who are going to make a decision whether they will run independent or they will run as within any political party must make it 21 days before election. Once you go through a nomination of any political party, you lose the right to be able to jump from that party to another party.
Even independent?
Even independent, yes. You even lose the right to become independent once you go through a nomination process.
You lose that right?
Yes, and it was there in the previous law.
Okay.
That is
people feel like Wavinya Betty was talking to you this morning.
Yes.
She feels that if it were not that she had jumped, she couldn't have been an MP for Kadiani.
Yes.
There are other people who feel that the Electoral Commission should never involve itself with
party primaries because of credibility.
There's nothing we can do about that. That is already provided for in the Constitution, that the political parties can, the IEBC can manage political. So we cannot.
But it's not mandatory.
It's precisely. Even now, even in the law we provided here, it's based on the choice of the political party if they go there. 2, remember that even party primaries in US, the one for Democrats and Republicans, they're done the same day. And voted the same day, managed by the same electoral body, and then they will manage the final elections. There is this cynicism in the country and this, lack of faith in institutions and fighting institutions continuously is one thing that we must be able to get away with. Because in Ghana, the commission, the only reason why we have to go all these elaborate processes of appointing commissioners is because of mistrust. But in Ghana, the commission is appointed by the president, and it's the best commission that happens in this country.
On the contrary, Senator, it's not about cynicism. It's about maintaining and strengthening the credibility of the electoral body.
Absolutely.
Because the moment you get them into party primaries, you get them into murky waters. And
not necessarily. No, there is no. I want you to appreciate one thing. The responsibility of having a final credible elections depends on whether we have a good party primaries. The responsibility of having sanitized politics in this country depends on how we manage political parties. Let me give you an example. How would it have been great if Ford had remained Ford in 1990 up to 92 elections and Kanu remained Kanu, so that this country had Ford and had Kanu. We have 2 big political parties and maybe the 3rd one. But because of ethnicized politics and everybody wanting to sell certificates to the other, and another one not trusting this community to the other, we had Ford Asili, Ford Kenya, what political party, we have all that, we have NDP later, Ford people. I want to take the country back to where electoral processes at the primaries level are going to influence the ultimate product. We cannot blame IEBC that they are not running elections well, when in our own nominations in political parties we are using rungus and djembes and pangas fighting ourselves, and then say we will now wait for IEBC, which is the same institution that was in the country, to manage a party whose product was already procured using violence.
Okay.
Allow me.
No, we're running out of time actually, sorry. And very quickly, we come to the other recommendations where you say that the committee recommends that Parliament establishes a mechanism by which it shall oversight the implementation of the recommendations in this report and electoral processes until the 2017 general elections.
There are three choices outright. That mechanism could include using the current committee, this negotiation committee.
Okay,
no, not JLAC. This one, the joint committee, could then be allowed to oversight the process until everything that we have said is implemented. That's one option. The other one, you can use JLAC. And the third one, Parliament, both Senate and the National Assembly, can go and create yet another committee to do the oversight. It is not a controversial issue.
Yeah. It's not a controversial issue?
Not at all.
there are those who would feel that this is what you were actually asked to do, to propose electoral reforms and ensure that they are implemented, and you're not doing that. In fact, you're outsourcing the work to some other body.
No. Our mandate was limited to when we tabled the report recently, and today we are going to discuss it. We actually ceased to be because we are adjunct, what we call a committee, a short-term institution. I mean, a body that is created by Parliament, so that the ad hoc committee. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. The ad hoc committee that is actually meant to just look at the processes when we nominate, when we present our report, we become functors official.
Okay, so your recommendations are not binding as such?
No. The recommendations are I mean, Parliament can
the binding to the extent of political...
Yeah, exactly. But if Parliament want to change, they can change. That is why we are saying, because it is extensively negotiated, there is already political goodwill on both sides. And as Senator Bonner said, there will be people who will not agree with it, but ultimately we will have to agree as a whole, as an institution, that this is an important report.
And if I can appeal to the hearts and minds of the MPs who feel particularly aggrieved with the issue of party hopping.
Yes.
The art of legislation still has given them a window to the extent that today we can pass that report as it is. But nothing takes it away from MPs 3 months, 6 months later, going specifically for the issue of party hopping. They can amend it if they wish. They don't have to throw away the baby, as they say, with the bathwater.
Okay. So the question we've been addressing ourselves to this morning has been whether Parliament, both houses will adopt the report and the draft bills. This is what some of our viewers are saying. Could achieved nothing from that committee and everything they wanted. They'll remain crybabies forever. And that came from Dr. Fred Morgan. I think Ken Okoth, the Kibra MP, earlier sent a tweet in saying that there are doubts about the timelines. I responded asking him which timelines. I don't think I've received a response yet. Sakwa, it should pass to save Kenya from burning in 2017. Skepticism from Being Charlie. Bunga is funny. Expect anything from Waheshimiwa. And from Smart, it should, with necessary amendments to make it even better. So that's what our viewers are saying. There's a bit of skepticism given our political and electoral history. As I come round the table for your final thoughts, I'll ask our panelists, do you think that the report and the draft bills will pass, given what we've heard from some of the core legislators, but also how the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee has behaved? And we know that they've been, to some extent, cold and at some point even hostile to the work of this select committee. So there are undercurrents of disagreement that we haven't even fully appreciated. Do we think that it will pass? Otegi?
I think it will pass because the principals or the bosses have said it will pass. The problem I have is probably that bit of party hopping. Some members who come from major areas, MPs who feel that because so and so, say for instance, if you want to be a governor of Meru and you seek a right to is there, you want to be governor, you don't expect that you will beat him in the nominations. So you might probably switch before 21st days. or if you are an MP, probably you will try to stop that so that you can hope after.
So you think there will be some sort of amendment, it will be watered down to allow that?
They are known to have done that.
Okay.
They have done that before.
Charles?
I pray it passes.
You pray it passes?
I don't
You have no faith?
Not think. I'm a bit skeptical, but I want to give it a benefit of doubt. And I would like to, at this juncture, call upon the principals. I want to see President Kenyatta do what he did with the budget thing. When he summoned the Jubilee MPs and told them, guys, don't play with this has to pass. I want to see Raila Odinga do the same for the country. Those who think CORD achieved nothing out of it, I don't think it was meant to achieve anything. I think Kenya is meant to achieve everything in all these scenarios. So let's just be positive, optimistic, give it a benefit of doubt. After all, we wake up every morning not knowing if we will die or we live to see the end of the day.
Well, philosophical. I'll come to you, Kipchumba, because Charles points out that it's supposed to achieve everything. And one complaint from civil society, the gender community particularly, has been that these electoral reforms should have addressed the gender rule, the two-thirds gender principle, and it doesn't do that. How do you explain that?
That was not within our mandate when the
so gender is not part of the electoral processes?
It was not part of the... No, I'm saying gender is a principle by itself. It's not a part of electoral processes. It's a principle, a constitutional requirement that we must achieve. There is a Jenny bill that proposes, a formula that we should be able to achieve that.
Which you are
I am 100% supporter of that bill.
Okay.
I want to announce to the nation that I support every process that empowers women. I believe that if
who says gender is women?
No, for now, the disenfranchised gender is women. Let's not beat about the bush, and we need to bring them fast up to speed to where they can be able to, they can compete fairly. I believe you have a responsibility, including you in the media, because the people who are insulting women and making it difficult for women to compete for positions can only get a voice if you report them. But if you glorify them that so-and-so was telling this woman this and that, you also, media, have a responsibility to create an environment that these women can be able to compete for positions. In future, it might be men who will be disenfranchised. But for now, it's women, and I believe that we should bring them up to speed. But we should also have a sunset clause that provides that you can do this affirmative action for a certain number of people who will be nominated. After that, they should run for office. 2, we must also make a provision that ultimately 20, 30, 40, 50 years, we should be able to do away with all this and now compete fairly because the environment will have changed.
Which the Sijeni bill does, and which should be coming up for discussion.
But this is my last remark.
Yes.
I just want to say this as a last remark, that as a country, we must fight this spirit of cynicism, that there is nothing good that comes from any institution that we have. We must protect these institutions. We must trust each other. And I wish people saw even our picture the other day with Senator Boni Khalwale. For us, in Jubilee and Court in Parliament, we are friends. We compete on issues. We disagree on policies. But on personal, we are friends. And I wish the members of public would adopt that position, that we will compete on issues. We start trusting ourselves. Look at Rio. This is the best Olympics we've ever had since the beginning of Olympics.
In spite of the problems.
Yeah, in spite of the problems. But we have glorified the problems. We have refused to celebrate the success that we have achieved. And as a country, it's the same way. People are looking for small mistakes in the report to complain about the report, make voters start thinking that one side of the political divide was shortchanged, and then fail to celebrate the far-reaching.
So you are satisfied with your work?
I am completely satisfied that we did a good job.
So, Senator, your final thoughts?
Yes, the recommendations we have made have laid a foundation which, to my mind, guarantees a credible, free and fair, transparent election. I want code followers to appreciate one fact, that if we refuse to go this route, it means we go back to the status quo. So the choice is yours. Do you want to go back to the same commissioners that you fought so hard to remove, or do you want to be progressive? Finally, I beg to clarify that the two-thirds gender bill by Sijeni that is before the Senate enjoys my support. But because I refuse to be anybody's sycophant, I have seen in that draft a provision that provides that the current nominated MCS and women rep, nominated MCS and women MPs should be entitled to renomination. So I am saying that clause is selfish, because the author of the bill is herself a nominated MP. It is tantamount to legislating for herself. So they should remove that one, and then we give our women the two-thirds gender.
No, but I just want to say something. So because it would be wrong if it goes to public. Senator Sijeni has not said that current nominated senators and MCAs should be nominated. They have said they should have, if a political party wants to present them for nomination again, there should be an opportunity for them to be nominated, which is a choice. It will be now the choice of the political party to do it or not. To throw away that bill on only that account will be extremely selfish on the part of us who are men who are more in parliament. The point here is that it is political party to sit down and say, do we still want to bring Senator Sejeni or we bring somebody else? She's giving the permissive will, the open door for those who have been nominated to still be renominated, but the political party can decide not to nominate them. It should appear the way Senator Boni Khalwale has put it, like it is mandatory to nominate them.
Okay, thank you.
This is very important.
No, we started another debate. We started another debate which has to continue.
My women voters.
Media.
My women voters
will not vote for you.
My women voters.
I'm not sure.
My women voters.
No. Our time is up. Our guests for their time on Cheche this morning. We've had Senator Kipchumba Murkomen of Elgeyo Marakwet and Boni Khalwale of Kakamega. Our thanks also to panelists Mutegi Njau and Charles Odhiambo. My name is Udwa Kamimo. Thank you for watching and engaging with us here on Cheche.